I'd like to welcome you all to our fourth webinar in the CHTA Sustainability Series. This webinar is titled Sustainable Pest Control and Green Cleaning Techniques. Before we present to you today's speaker, we're going to go over a few housekeeping items. This presentation is being recorded. You will be able to access the video as well as the PowerPoint 48 hours after the webinar is over on our website, which is www.caribbeanhotelandtourism.com. Just click on the CHTA Learning Tools button on the homepage and it'll take you right to it. The presentation will last 30 minutes. If you have any questions during the presentation, write them down or send them to us via chat. After the presentation, there will be a 10-minute Q&A. You can submit your questions by typing them into the webinar's chat room. Any additional questions or concerns that we didn't get time to address, you can email to the speaker, and the speaker's contact information will be on the last page of today's presentation. Now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Frank Comito, CHTA CEO, to introduce you to today's speaker.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you to all for participating in this webinar as part of our series with OBMI and with our Caribbean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism. I also want to thank our presenter today, Adele Garbutt, with the Calabash Resort in Grenada. I had the distinct opportunity of visiting Calabash just last week, and I can attest during my 90-minute...
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
I can attest during my 90 minutes there that I was not bitten by one mosquito. So obviously they're doing something right. It is in a challenging but incredibly beautiful environment, a coved beach area, low-lying, and if not managed properly, can certainly be an area that harbors tremendous challenges with Pest. So, but they've managed to do a wonderful job. So Adele is part of part of a hotel family that's been many years involved in developing this incredible resort. They're active members of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, and without further, I believe her details are on the presentation that you'll see, so I'm not going to go into any aspect of that. Let's get right to Adele. To Adele. Thank you so much, Adele. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Frank, and thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, just right to being part of this. This web seminar. It's a great honor. So I'm just going to go through the learning objectives that I've put together. As we've just heard, I'm going to be talking about sustainable pest control, as well as green cleaning techniques. I'm going to start off with the 3 reasons why we at Calabash thought have turned towards green cleaning techniques, and then I'm going to start talking about the pest control, which is a rather unique thing that we've done in the Caribbean, and it's worked, which is the most important thing. So over to housekeeping and the green versus chemical debate. We all know that being kind to the environment and thinking about sustainability is something that we should really do. But I've highlighted the 3 main reasons why we've chosen to turn our back on chemicals at the Calabash, and hopefully explain to you the relevant reasons why we've done this. First of all, we strongly believe that knowledge is power. Government regulations don't require the ingredients of any cleaning products to be stated on their bottles. However, many of the green cleaning products and the green companies behind it do make it their policy to be fully transparent. So it allows us to have the knowledge of understanding the product better and how it works better. And this way we can prevent the products from damaging the furniture within the rooms, and that's been a great economical impact for us. We're basically preserving our fixtures and fittings. the economical impact has been one of the main turning points. The fact is that green products are often a lot cheaper than their chemical counterparts. Now, this wasn't always the case. This is a relatively new thing, and the reason is because there are a lot more greening products available, so the price has been a lot more, the prices have become a lot more competitive. Added to that, we're able to use a lot of household items to clean the rooms, such as vinegar, bicarbonate of soda, and lemon. And these have worked in a lot of areas, and they're a lot more effective than chemicals. Finally, it's actually a lot easier to use green products and household items, especially when training the housekeepers. Basically, we just give them, 3 or 4 products to use, rather than, a whole arsenal of, Jif and glass cleaner and various other ingredients, some of which can't be used in combination. The chemicals don't mix together very well and can be quite dangerous and quite harmful to not only people but also to our fixtures and fittings within the room. So that's made it a lot easier for us. There's less training, there's less chemicals involved, and then we don't have to worry about things like bleach stains and damaging the furniture. As well, and added to that, a really good bonus has been that we now have a lot less sick days in our housekeeping department because we don't use as many chemicals. We've created a safer environment for our staff and also our guests. So those have been the really positive impact and the reasons why we have essentially turned our back on the chemicals that we used to use. So hopefully that helps to convince you to follow suit as well. Next, I'm going to go on to my personal passion, which is mosquitoes. Now, everybody laughs at me for this, but I really do hate mosquitoes. And as Frank mentioned, the hotel is in a very low-lying area. We're a beachfront property, but around the hotel there are some swampy areas. So we were always told that because of these swampy areas, we'll never be able to get rid of the mosquitoes. And we came from a time where we were plagued by mosquitoes. It was always something that guests were commenting on, and was a very detrimental impact on the hotel. So basically, I hate being told that something's impossible. So I started to research, and what I found is that it's not impossible to control mosquitoes. Basically, the key to the control is changing our minds and our attitude in order to make meaningful change possible. So mosquitoes do not need to be part of a tropical environment. They're most often they're here because we have created their habitat for them. So we have created man-made water sources where they can breed, and that's why they're here with us. The key is to remove the possibility for mosquitoes to breed. As we all know, mosquitoes breed in water. Killing them as adults is just simply not as effective. So that leads me on to my next point, which is why pesticides will never be the answer to controlling mosquitoes. Insects acquire resistance to chemical pesticides very, very quickly, sometimes within as little as 3 months. So malathion is a very popular means to kill mosquitoes as adults. We use that, and we used to use it a lot when fogging for mosquitoes. And we used to fog between 2 to 3 times a week. And what we found is that just straight after we fogged, I think we upset the mosquitoes more than anything, because they came back and they were biting, worse straight after fogging. And the reason for that is because the pesticides really only attack the adult mosquitoes, and that chemical is dispersed into a large three-dimensional space in air. So it's very difficult to control. It does nothing whatsoever about the pupa and the larvae of the mosquitoes, which are breeding in the water. So basically, you're not attacking the true cause of the mosquitoes in the environment. You're sort of glossing over it and trying to get the adults, which can easily fly away from you. So basically, it's not very effective. So what we do instead is that we just simply remove standing water, or where it can't be removed, like in drains where there is sitting water, we just add salt, and that's a natural product, and it works absolutely brilliantly. So that leads me to my next point, which is knowledge is power. We had, in order to realize this, to realize that fogging was not the answer, we had to understand mosquitoes and their habits a lot better. So in the Caribbean, we have the mosquito that we have most commonly is the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is black with white stripes on their legs. So these mosquitoes are responsible for the transmission of dengue fever and chikungunya, and they often breed in cleaner water sources. That's rainwater, drains, and gutters, and also flower vases as well. So if you've got flower vases in your resort, and you're not keeping an eye on the water and changing the water regularly and cleaning out the vases properly, more than likely that you've got your own mosquitoes. And that's what we were doing a lot of. We were just basically growing our own mosquitoes and causing our own problem here at Calabash. Next, I'm just going to tell you basically our success story and how it all started. So as I mentioned to you, that at Calabash, we were always told, because of the area that we're in and the swampy areas nearby, that the mosquitoes were always going to be part of our environment. So my research, basically, when I was searching how to get rid of mosquitoes, it led me to a lady called Trudy Rilling Collins. I've got her contact details on the last point on that slide there. She calls herself the mosquito lady, and she really is the mosquito lady. She is an American, and she lives in Bali, and she's done a lot of work in Southeast Asia with a lot of success. And because of that, and because of the area that she works in, I thought that she would be a really good fit for the Caribbean. She's never worked within the Caribbean, but because of the environment in Southeast Asia, I thought I'd give it a try. So I started off initially just discussing things with her over Skype, and she gave me a lot of the information about the mosquitoes and how they behave and where we're likely to find it. She had never seen the property, but I'd sort of described things to her, and we've got 27 acres, which is quite a large property, and quite difficult to control because of the size of it. But so she sort of gave me a few tips. Go look and make sure your drains are clear and running out to sea, and test the water in the drains to make sure that it's salt water and not fresh water. So we sort of did all that, but it didn't make very much difference. And so Trudy suggested that she actually came to the hotel and did a site audit, which in hindsight was incredibly necessary for her to do. Because with her knowledge, she was able to, say to us, actually, you haven't looked in your gutters properly, and you see that crack in the wall there. There's mosquitoes there, and she did a really thorough job. So essentially, what eventually did happen is she took 3 members of our staff and she trained them. She trained them what to look for, and how to get rid of the standing water, and basically to put salt in water where we couldn't get rid of it. So she split our property up into 7 zones, and we go through one zone every single day, and which is incredibly important, and it has prevented the mosquitoes from breeding in the first place. So we've controlled the mosquitoes at the source, and then a sort of a side effect of that is that we have been able to, because we're keeping a closer eye on areas of the property where we possibly don't spend as much time because they're not guest areas, we have been able to do a lot of preventative maintenance, and we've also managed to tidy up the area. So we're running a tighter ship essentially of controlling the mosquitoes. So I really do believe in what we've done. Within a few days of starting this process, and doing the site audit, and keeping it up. It does need to be kept up every single day. We have reduced the amount of mosquitoes that we have by 80%. Another point that I should mention about mosquitoes is that they actually don't move more than 150 meters away from where they were born, essentially, that water source where they were born. So if you can just control that 150 meters around the hotel in that radius, you're more than likely got most of the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes don't, popular to contrary belief, mosquitoes don't travel for miles and miles around. So it does make it a lot easier to control them, and it's totally eco-friendly. We're only using salt, and we're only getting rid of standing water. We're protecting our guests, and we're protecting our staff as well, by reducing the amount of mosquitoes. Because of what we've been doing, we managed to totally avoid the chikungunya problem, which most of the Caribbean suffered with last year. So hopefully that speaks for itself, and hopefully I've managed to explain the reasons why we decided to do it, and how easy it is to control mosquitoes in a very safe and environmentally friendly way, and a positive impact for the entire resort. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Those are just my contact details. I'm available anytime. Just give me a call or send me an email if you have any questions at all. I'm more than happy to share my story with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adele. We really appreciate it. Let's see. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to move forward and ask a few questions that hopefully Adele will be able to answer for us. Is that all right, Adele?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The first question then that we have is, what is the cost involved in making this change, as far as what is the cost involved in investment, and how much did you you yourself as a case study, did you save, did you see as far as cost savings in your hotel?
Is that for the green cleaning techniques or the pest control?
Both.
Both. The green cleaning techniques, we have reduced our housekeeping expenses by roughly around 10%, which may not sound very much, but it you know, if it does make a difference. So roughly our expenses are 10%, but the added benefits as well, less time training. And we can preserve our fixtures and fittings for a longer period of time. So those are benefits as well. And for pest control, I mean, we were spending a lot of money on fogging previously, and we've completely eliminated that area now. So to get the Trudy, who was the expert, the mosquito expert that we used, get her down to Grenada. I believe it cost us about $5,000 altogether. She was only here for 3 days. And then, of course, we had to just put her up and to give her, food and beverage as well. But we've eliminated the cost of fogging, and we've managed to get rid of our mosquitoes effectively. And all it costs us now is a bag of salt every few months. That's it.
Fantastic. Okay.
Fantastic.
The
Okay.
second question
The second question that we had
is how is going green? Let me see. Oh, provided some kind of a marketing PR advantage. Have you seen more people attend or stay with you because you are a green hotel? Has that provided you any kind of advantage marketing?
Yeah, well, it has. So, for example, we can now. We don't market ourselves as a totally mosquito-free property, but we do advertise the fact that we actively control the mosquitoes within our environment, and especially during, I believe it was sort of, October, December of 2014, when a lot of people in the US and the UK were quite concerned about the chikungunya outbreak. We used that the information, we pushed that information out to reassure people. We got very few cancellations, and we actually did have a few people who had booked to stay on other islands coming to us instead because of the fact that we were doing so much to control the mosquitoes. So from that point of view, it has actually benefited us, and we were able to use it towards marketing the property.
Okay, another question that we have is how much train your staff to use these new green techniques, and would you offer this training for them? Is this something that they could use in their homes as well, not just on the property?
Absolutely. So that was a very important part of all of our training with the staff, was to try and get them from the cleaning point of view to get rid of as many chemicals in their homes, and the key to doing that was to saying to them that it's a lot cheaper actually than using the chemicals, because it's very easy, I suppose, to go to the supermarket and grab a bunch of chemicals which have traditionally been used, but so changing their minds and using the economical benefits of using the green products was something that was definitely part of our training, as well as when it came to the mosquitoes as well, because we were concerned about our staff's welfare at home as well. So while we were training, the 3 or 4 members of staff who have become our mosquito team and do the mosquito inspections every day, we also had sessions with our wider staff to explain to them the dangers of mosquitoes. A lot of people don't realize how dangerous mosquitoes can be, and how dangerous dengue fever can be. I was definitely totally blind to that. I just thought, dengue fever is you feel very, very ill for a couple of weeks and then you're fine. But the reality is that after, I think it's after the third, if you get dengue fever 3 times, it's not very possible to live through that.